So the fear and greed index has us at mid pussy levels here, okay? We've reached a 39 back on the fear side. And it makes sense when you hear the notion of what we're seeing from Twitter, we're seeing from social media. I mean, everyone's pushing this, ramming this down my throat like it's the hottest Riley Reid video out there, right? Of, look, the market's going to drop. Tariffs are the end. I told you so, Tyler. Yeah. And I will say, China comes at us today. We're saying, look, we're putting a tariff on you right now. We're getting started, right? China hits back. Oh, they got us. Trump did say he is in no rush to talk to President Xi of China and let the trade war go. Doesn't really care. He said, whatever, we'll see who wins this battle. And that's where we're at currently. Canada, Mexico, just chilling right now. EU kind of just chilling as well. So you would expect when you see this, based off of the news, based off of everyone out there, that this is the Trump dump. This is so bad. Inflation's going to surge. Well, yeah, this is the Nasdaq, right? This is what really matters, the Nasdaq 100. And you're back above July highs, okay? Now, the big thing I want to talk about are these big, massive wicks here, okay? You continue to hold this green line, which is your 100 daily moving average. Not your 200, just your 100 daily moving average. On the daily, you bounced off that continuously. It's over and over, great buying off that level. You go into SPY, and again, I'll have a lot of levels here, so don't get intimidated. I'll go into them here in a second, but you can still see SPY holding up as well. Now, what is something that you've noticed from this chart? It's kind of something you've heard me mention probably over the past few days, is you continue to find buyers. And why do people want to push this narrative that we're going to tank, you're going to drop, and it's bad? Because people, it sells. It gets views, it gets clicks. I put a clickbait thumbnail, spoiler alert, but the facts of the matter is that there's no evidence to say that you are crashing right now. You have the Fed saying, look, the market looks good. You have, everyone saying that, look, it's not that bad. So far, it's not that bad. Right now, it's a lot of fear mongering of what's happening with tariffs and what's going on globally, but the tariffs aren't that bad as of right now. Now, I will say, companies probably won't feel the pain. It'll be you, most likely middle class, that has any effect, if any, from these, right? But again, we have to identify where we're at on these levels, okay? SPY, you're coming back down to 600. And I'll tell you right now, if you're looking trading SPY, you are getting rejected from your all-time highs around 609. That's breaking all-time highs, typically not the easiest thing to do. So if you can mount 610, 609, you look good for price discovery. But all in all, you're making higher lows, pushing back into highs. Like, it's the definition of bullish behavior. Now, below 600, I would be looking towards 597 to 596 as my key levels of what I'd really be watching here. You can also see that level comes back down to about, and there you go, to the 2 hour. You can really see like where that level stems from as well. So like in this little box there as well, what I'd be looking for. Now going into Qs, some of you guys like trading Qs. Qs came into resistance, 524. I mean, above 524, I don't see a lot of resistance. You probably come quickly into 528, then possibly 531. But again, you're just trending at this point. You just look good. If you see selling tomorrow, I'd be targeting 519. But the point of the story here is that you see some selling, but you're not seeing aggression. You're not seeing continued selling. Like, you want me to show you what real selling? Like, I think we forget. I know we have short-term memory loss here sometimes. But if you recall, like, this was selling, 2022, right? Do we remember? This is what a continued sell-off looks like. This is actual selling every day happening, right? We forget what happened here, right? Even COVID, at least you saw more of a sell-off for a few days there as well. But like, overall, you were just trending in maybe some chop, but you're still trending, right? Dumb statement for people to be getting bearish. And it just shows the level of intelligence here, right? Because if you actually believe that you're net bearish here, you literally might have like Down syndrome. Like you really might, okay? So I want to push that narrative as much as possible. Anyone that's just blindly saying that is dumb. It's very, very dumb. The end. Very, very, very dumb. Now, I also post a lot of updates on Twitter, so I recommend following there if you want. You'll get updates throughout the day, news articles I'm looking at, everything in between. So if you're interested, tap in if you want, okay? Going into the after hours right now, giving you a visual. We did have earnings on a few names today. Number one was Google. I never trade earnings. There's no real positive unless you just hold stock. Google is down at 190. Google becomes an issue for me for seeing downside here if you get below 185. But I also want to paint this narrative as well. Despite seeing some of the selling across the board, Google was at all-time highs today. Again, no one wants to talk about that. Even if you dip down to 185, you are still basically above your previous all-time highs. You still look fantastic, okay? So again, we'll see if you get below 185, selling could occur. That's where I get more worried. 190 to 185 is a buying opportunity for shares, in my opinion. Okay, the next one up is AMD. Yeah, this name was god awful. I've been saying it for a while. They did beat on revenue, but again, it's their cloud, their data centers. They're just not doing good. Like, they're making money. They beat on revenue, but the problem is the areas in which they're beating and making the most money doesn't make sense. You should be beating on these data centers, cloud, things along those lines, because that area of the market is so hot. Names like AVGO and NVIDIA, right, are making a killing off those sectors. It doesn't make sense while you aren't making more money right now because there's so much money to go around. And they try to flex this partnership they have with Microsoft, but in reality, for some reason, it's not lining up. Also, Microsoft's cloud growth is dwindling down. Now, I will say cloud, they're still one of the biggest cloud, performers out there. So it's like, eventually, like, it's the analogy you made with Apple, like, how much more can Apple really grow? Like, 1 billion people already have subscriptions. Like, that's crazy, right? So how many more subscriptions do you expect? Is something you have to kind of think about there. But yeah, so Google, AMD, also in the slammer. Now, AMD, in my opinion, is hot dog water. I've been saying it. If you have anyone out there that's telling you AMD is a buy, NVIDIA is a short, that is also a key telltale sign of stage 5 Down syndrome. Yeah, I honestly, I try to think of a better word, but it's just there's a disconnect from like understanding anything logical. And it's not their fault. They were just born that way, right? I love the Down syndrome community, right? I love them. But we have to understand that we should not take investment tips or listen to anything they say around stocks because it might not be logical, right? Or smart. So again, getting below this massive level here of 110 on AMD 109, you are in the danger zone. Let me tell you that right now. You are in the danger zone like Tom Cruise back 97 whenever Top Gun was made. We're looking at 99 to 102 in my opinion here. This is bad. This is bad news, no bears. This is very bad. So AMD, I could see more selling occurring here. Eventually, if you ever mount the 200 SMA, I can get bullish. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know when that could ever happen here for AMD right now. This has been a true tragedy, like Macbeth. Okay, this is bad. So again, not interested. In other news, AMD misses, and you have AVGO doing very well here in the after hours. Goes to also show, again, this is actually clown work. NVIDIA was up slightly in the after hours, back to flat right now. I still think NVIDIA is pretty decent, but I have to tell you right now, when it comes to NVIDIA, I would be cautious on buying aggressively on calls. You will have a key sign when to buy calls, shorter dated, maybe even 2 to 3 months out, give or take. That time will be when you remount the 200 daily moving average, the green line here at 122. It'll fluctuate. I'll keep you guys updated. When that happens, that's your notion to say, let's go long on calls. Right now, you have like a $2 space in there, so there's no reason to be getting aggressive here yet. You get back above that, we can talk, and you can move quick. That'll be your time to go long. I do think right now, as you dip and maybe you come down to $100, 107, I'm preparing for that. Leaps, once again, if you guys remember, when you dip back here, September, when you dip back here, in August, we were hammering home. This was the best opportunity you were going to get. leaps, 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 leaps. You're lucky enough to potentially get this again. And you're also going to see their revenue next month or this month, into this month, right? So again, very big opportunity. You're going to see them continue to smash. And unlike AMD, NVIDIA did 30 billion back in, August. The next earnings in November, they did 35 billion. So they're still growing rapidly. These are things that you are excited to see and really what you want to see. So I'm still excited to see that on NVIDIA and what's happening across the board there. Again, we're kind of going through equities today, right? We're just hammering home equities. We like what we see in the broad market. Tesla. Tesla's a trade that I was looking for a better part of the day. You never got the mount of what I wanted to see on the 5-minute. You ended up getting it near the end of the day, and you eventually mounted and shot right into like our first chart of 394. And also, too, guys, if you are interested, I will let you know right now, Discord spots are available. The link is down below. But we now have 2 tiers if you are interested, right? We have a cheaper, more affordable tier, the starter plan, which you don't get access to direct signals. You just get all of our charts that we're looking at throughout the day. And so like this is all the charts we looked at today. So it's going to be a lot of content you still get. And you get access to the trade room as well. But one of the big trades I mentioned today in chat too was Tesla. I mentioned this earlier in trade ideas. And again, some days you're just not going to get the setups you want. So looking at Tesla, I want to see a mount. You never got it. And then you got into the day into 393, target 1. So that was nice. You ended up hitting that eventually. It just took all day. I ended up not even taking it. So yeah, but again, what we're looking at, if Tesla can stay above 389 to 390, I think there's a real possibility you push into $400, 50 SMA there as well. Still a big fan of that. I think Tesla still looks decent. Below 389, you're just chopping in this range. There's a world in which you dip back down to 370. So be careful. Head on a swivel, dare I say. Another big name I'm mentioning here. Shout out to Discord. You caught this one today as well. I've been telling you guys, CrowdStrike, CrowdStrike, CrowdStrike. And sometimes I'm going to give you guys some of the juice, the Sal Azul, dare I say. And CrowdStrike is one of my favorite plays right now. Again, all-time high previous 398. I told you on the dip, I literally said, if you have people stuck in India because your company is down and there's no replacement, your company is invaluable, right? You are literally saving people getting out of India. I've seen those street food interviews. Come on, right? So we knew this was one of the best buys in the year. Congratulations, you're back at all-time highs. You're bull flagging above previous all-time highs. This is a slam dunkarooski if I've ever seen one right now. Again, if you don't believe me, I've been hammering this home as well this morning in Discord going into this of what I mentioned. Where's it at? Let me find it. I'm losing it right now. CrowdStrike right here. Could see 410 plus if buyers get aggressive. You're breaking out 407, 48 into the day. More updates are coming in Discord for that as well. But again, guys, this is exactly what you're looking for. A lot of these setups are still very hot. And this is the point I want to make to you that I'm trying to really hammer home. You are getting some of your best setups still, despite seeing massive sell-offs on the Nasdaq. When is the last time you saw the Nasdaq sell off 600 fucking points? You bounce back-to-back days off of that, and you're just right back to square one. And not only that, but half of the major names in the Nasdaq didn't even really dip. I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. But again, this is absolutely crazy. And the best part is you're back in the fear situation. This is the best case scenario. Unless you have some crazy type of black swan, which God forbid, you're set up for a monster run pretty soon. Let's play the game of Canada and Mexico get trade resolutions and we get trade deals, and the EU. What happens at that notion? Yeah, we still had a trade war with China, but didn't we not just deflect and switch the narrative of, yeah, we have one trade war, but the rest are all solidified. They're good to go. Trump could possibly be playing 3D chess while the rest are playing checkers, because everyone says he's going to dump the market. And let me tell you, yeah, Sunday evening, Monday morning, did I poop my pants a little bit? Yes. Did I make a stinky winky before I went to bed? Yes. But we woke up the next day and I remembered we live in the United States of America. We get the best opportunities, the best damn stock picks. And again, who are we kidding? The market's bullish as hell. See you tomorrow. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do.